Genesis chapter 42 from the Jerusalem Bible. The first meeting between Joseph and his brothers. Jacob, seeing that there was grain for sale in Egypt, said to his sons, "Why do you stand looking at one another? I hear," he said, "that there is grain for sale in Egypt. Go down and buy grain for us there, that we may survive and not die." So 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain in Egypt. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers. "Nothing must happen to him," he said. Israel's sons, with others making the same journey, went to buy grain, for there was famine in the land of Canaan. It was Joseph, as the man in authority over the country, who sold the grain to all comers. So Joseph's brothers went and bowed down before him, their faces touching the ground. When Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he did not make himself known to them, and he spoke harshly to them. "Where have you come from?" he asked. "From the land of Canaan to buy food," they replied. So Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Joseph, remembering the dreams he had had about them, said to them, "You are spies. You have come to discover the country's weak points." "No, my lord," they told him. "Your servants have come here to buy food. We are all sons of the same man. We are honest men. Your servants are not spies." "Not so," he replied. "It is the country's weak points you have come to discover." "Your servants are 12 brothers," they said, "sons of the same man, from the land of Canaan. The youngest, we should explain, is at present with our father, and the other one is no more." Joseph answered them, "It is as I said, you are spies. This is the test you are to undergo. As sure as Pharaoh lives, you shall not leave unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of your number to fetch your brother. You others will remain under arrest so that your statements can be tested to see whether or not you are honest. If not, then as sure as Pharaoh lives, you are spies." And he kept them all in custody for 3 days. On the third day, Joseph said to them, "Do this, and you shall keep your lives, for I am a man who fears God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers be kept in the place of your detention. As for you, go and take grain to relieve the famine of your families. You shall bring me your youngest brother. This way your words will be proved true, and you will not have to die." This they did. They said to one another, "Truly, we are being called to account for our brother. We saw his misery of soul when he begged our mercy, but we did not listen to him. And now this misery has come home to us." Reuben answered them, "Did I not tell you not to wrong the boy? But you did not listen, and now we are brought to account for his blood." They did not know that Joseph understood, because there was an interpreter between them. He left them and wept. Then he went back to them and spoke to them. Of their number he took Simeon and had him bound while they looked on. Jacob's sons returned to Canaan. Joseph gave the order to fill their panniers with corn, to put back each man's money in his sack, and to give them provisions for the journey. This was done for them. They loaded the grain on their donkeys and went away. But when they camped for the night, one of them opened his corn sack to give fodder to his donkey, and saw his money in the mouth of the sack. He said to his brothers, "My money has been put back. Here it is in the corn sack." Their hearts sank, and they looked at one another in panic, saying, "What is this that God has done to us?" Returning to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, they gave him a full report of what had happened to them. "The man who is lord of the land spoke harshly to us, taking us for men spying on the country. We told him, 'We are honest men, we are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of the same father. One of us is no more, and the youngest is at present with our father in the land of Canaan. But the man who is Lord of the land said to us, This is how I shall know if you are honest. Leave one of your brothers with me. Take the grain your families stand in need of, and go. But bring back your youngest brother, and then I shall know that you are not spies, but honest men. Then I will hand over your brother to you, and you can trade in the country. As they emptied their sacks, each discovered his bag of money in his sack. On seeing their bags of money, they were afraid, and so was their father. Then their father, Jacob, said to them, You are robbing me of my children. Joseph is no more. Simeon is no more. And now you want to take Benjamin. All this I must bear. Then Reuben said to his father, You may put my 2 sons to death if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my care, and I will bring him back to you. But he replied, My son is not going down with you, for now his brother is dead. He is the only one left. If any harm came to him on the journey you were to undertake, you would send me down to Sheol with my white head bowed in grief. Jacob's sons leave again with Benjamin, chapter 43. But the country was hard pressed by famine, and when they had finished eating the grain they had brought from Egypt, their father said to them, Go back and buy us a little food. But the man expressly warned us, Judah told him. He said, You will not be admitted to my presence unless your brother is with you. If you are ready to send our brother with us, we are willing to go down and buy food for you. But if you are not ready to send him, we will not go down, for the man told us, You will not be admitted to my presence unless your brother is with you. Then Israel said, Why did you bring this misery on me by telling the man you had another brother? They replied, He kept questioning us about ourselves and our kinsfolk. Is your father still alive? And have you a brother? That is why we told him. How could we know he was going to say, Bring your brother down here? Judah said to his father Israel, Send the boy with me. Let us start off and go so that we may save our lives and not die, we, you, and our dependents. I will go surety for him, and you can hold me responsible for him. If I do not bring him back to you and set him before you, let me bear the blame all my life. Indeed, if we had not wasted so much time, we should have been back again by now. Then their father Israel said to them, If it must be so, then do this. Take some of the land's finest products in your panniers and carry them down to the man as a gift. A little balsam, a little honey, gum, tragacanth, resin, pistachio nuts, and almonds. Take double the amount of money with you and return the money put back in the mouths of your stacks. It may have been a mistake. Take your brother and go back to the man. May El Shaddai move the man to be kind to you and allow you to bring back your other brother and Benjamin. As for me, if I must be bereaved, bereaved I must be. The men took this gift. They took double the amount of money with them and Benjamin. They started off and went down to Egypt. They presented themselves to Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to his chamberlain, Take these men to the house, slaughter a beast, and prepare it, for these men are to eat with me at midday. The man did as Joseph had ordered, and took the men to Joseph's house. The men were afraid at being taken to Joseph's house, thinking, We are being taken there because of the money replaced in our corn sacks the first time. They will set on us, they will fall on us and make slaves of us and take our donkeys too. So they went up to Joseph's chamberlain and spoke to him at the entrance to the house. By your leave, sir, they said, we came down once before to buy food, and when we reached camp and opened our corn sacks, there was each man's money in the mouth of his sack to its full amount. but we have brought it back with us, and we have brought more money with us to buy food. We do not know who put our money in our corn sacks." "Peace to you," he replied. "Do not be afraid. Your God and your father's God has put a treasure in your corn sacks. Your money reached me safely." And he brought Simeon out to them. The man took the men into Joseph's house. He offered them water to wash their feet and gave their donkeys fodder. They arranged their gift while they waited for Joseph to come at midday, for they had heard they were to dine there. When Joseph arrived at the house, they offered him the gift they had with them and bowed before him to the ground. But he greeted them kindly, asking, "Is your father well? The old man you told me of. Is he still alive?" "Your servant, our father, is well," they replied. "He is still alive." And they bowed low in homage. Looking up, he saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son. "Is this your youngest brother?" he asked, "of whom you told me?" Then he said to him, "God be good to you, my son." Joseph hurried out, for his heart was moved at the sight of his brother, and he was near to weeping. He went into his room, and there he wept. After bathing his face, he returned and, controlling himself, gave the order, "Serve the meal." He was served separately, so were they, and so were the Egyptians who ate in his household, for Egyptians cannot take food with Hebrews. They have a horror of it. They were placed opposite him, each according to his rank, from the eldest to the youngest, and the men looked at one another in amazement. He had portions carried to them from his own dish, the portion for Benjamin being 5 times larger than any of the others. They drank with him and were happy.